but I don't understand why Joe Burrow's 44, because if you're going to rank him based on the 8 games and the injury from last year, he should be lower. If you're going to rank him on any kind of projection or knowing what he is at the quarterback position, he should be in the top 10. So it really makes no sense to me.
Joe Burrow was the latest Bengal to make the list and ranking, and I saw his name far sooner than I was expecting to. Last season, Joe Burrow was in the top 10. This year, coming in at number 44 on the NFL Top 100 list.
Let's go, guys, come on!
You could compare the two. Like, they're in the pocket, smart kind of quarterbacks. Pick up reads and like blitzes easily.
Slant, nice, touchdown!
Nice.
To me, he's a tremendous player. I love the way that he leads this team.
Yeah, I kind of think they play similar.
I feel like Joe Burrow is just kind of like super even the whole time.
I got some crumbs on me.
Ice, man. Ice. Joe Ice.
I had a little waffle.
Pressure doesn't get to him. He's cool, calm, and collected in any environment and under any situation.
Burrow fires toward the end zone.
Nice.
Caught!
Nice.
A slant to Jamar Chase.
Bubbles! Bubbles!
His arm talent is one of a kind.
There's small windows, and then there's whatever that was that he just threw through.
He just lets it go and trusting his guys to go make a play, and he's been making a ton of plays too.
Burrow drops back from the 10, floats it high and deep down the sideline. Higgins with the catch.
The way he approaches the game and how he's able to pick apart defenses is really cool.
Here is that movement in the pocket. His eyes are always downfield wanting to throw the football, and it's the movement of the feet, kind of getting into an area where you get clear throwing lanes.
Moving to his right, floats it down the field, caught on the run.
Every time he's out there, you got to be aware of him, and he's dangerous every time he's healthy, so you got to be ready to go.
This is so good. There is nothing that Jack Jones could possibly do when you throw the ball in that position.
I love Joe Burrow. I loved his game, loved his mindset and mentality. Doesn't say a lot, doesn't need to say a lot because he's so good.
I always love when you hear Joe's peers talk about the quarterback and how great he is at the quarterback position, and especially comparing him to the likes of Tom Brady. But here's a fantastic stat that NFL Plus posted as well. Burrow was the 3rd player in league history to reach 150 touchdown passes in their first 75 games. Also became the 5th in NFL history with 20,000 or more yards in their first 75 games as well. He should be higher. He should be higher.
Stats like that should put you much closer to that number 6 last year than that number 44 this year. I know the health is a problem. Only played 8 games last year, but even in those 8 games, he was great. At least for the most part, was doing enough to get this Bengals team in contention, finding somewhat of a path to win out and try to make the playoffs, at least for the first few games when he returned from the injury. I think Joe Burrow's season last year was a huge positive for him moving forward. The way he fought back from the injury, the commitment to get back to the field and put his best foot forward to give this Bengals team a chance when it would have been so easy, and I'm sure so many other players would have just shut it down, called it a day, and said we'll attack next season. Joe didn't do that. He worked every single day to get back on the field, and he did get back on the field when a lot of people didn't expect him to. I think that injury last season is drastically different than other injuries that caused people to miss time, because he fought back and he showed that he didn't lose much after that injury, if anything at all. We're talking about other injuries for quarterbacks in the NFL that we haven't seen them since by the time week 1 rolls around here. How does a torn ACL affect a player like Patrick Mahomes? We've seen Joe Burrow win games since his injury this season. When you're comparing him with other quarterbacks with the same question marks, I just don't understand why he's below them.
No, and you're not telling me there are 43 players better than Joe Burrow in the NFL. And this 44 ranking, the lowest that Joe Burrow has been ranked on the NFL Top 100 since 2021 when he was unranked, which makes sense given that he was coming off of the ACL injury his rookie season. But here's a look at where Joe has been ranked by the year. So was at number 6 in 2025, saw that uptick from the 2024 season. But going into 2024 was ranked 39th, was 6th again going into the 2023 season, and then ranked 21st in 2022. So this too was a surprise to me that it's the lowest he's been ranked in his career, but yet he's proven so much since he's been in the league. Again, it just feels another kind of one of those like disrespectful moments that a Bengals player is facing.
Absolutely. And any guesses where he might be ranked next year based on the trends there?
If I'm a betting woman, I'm going to say number 6.
Probably number 6.
Yeah.
So about every other year, the people in the NFL remember how good Joe Burrow is. And it aligns with the injuries, and that's a real shame and something that we talk about here in Cincinnati a lot. How different would the conversations be around Joe Burrow if he was on the field more consistently? We saw numbers broken through the first 75 games of a career. He still would have broken those numbers. It just would have come a lot sooner if he was healthy. And I think that's the biggest thing with his view in the whole league. We talk about him a lot as a top 4, top 5 quarterback, and most people do. The way he gets dropped down is lists like this where you focus on missed time. And I just don't necessarily think that's fair when there's so many other players that have also missed significant time that aren't viewed the same way. I did think it was nice if Joe Burrow's going to come in at 40 that Lamar Jackson's coming in the 60s because they both missed significant time and one was better when they returned from the injuries last year. I don't think many people would argue that it was Joe Burrow. So at least there's some consistency there based on the quarterbacks in the AFC North. But I don't understand why Joe Burrow's 44 because if you're going to rank him based on the 8 games and the injury from last year, he should be lower. If you're going to rank him on any kind of projection or knowing what he is at the quarterback position, he should be in the top 10. So it really makes no sense to me.
So Burrow and Lamar seem to have been hindered in a sense because of the injuries they suffered. And here's a look at the 10 quarterbacks on the NFL top 100 so far. But if we're going to talk about quarterbacks suffering injuries and dropping on the list, I don't see Pat Mahomes' name on there.
Not at all. He played a lot of games last year towards ACL towards the end, but wasn't great when he was on the field. This is a Chiefs team that missed the playoffs last year, and I think a lot of people point to a torn ACL as to why the Chiefs missed the playoffs for Patrick Mahomes. He started the majority of the season. They had a convoluted path to get to the wild card before he got hurt. It was going to be a very tough task. I think he's talked about a lot differently, and the Chiefs are talked about a lot differently this offseason. If he hadn't gotten hurt in a negative sense, as crazy as that sounds, because if you're talking about the Chiefs sitting at home for the playoffs and Patrick Mahomes was healthy for it, then you could use that as a knock against him like people usually do for Joe Burrow in 2024, regardless of the numbers that he put up. So I think a lot of people don't recognize, I guess, how late in the season Mahomes got hurt and how much control he had over the 2025 Kansas City Chiefs, because I fully expect him to still be ranked, and I feel a lot more confident in Joe Burrow going into next season than Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, absolutely. I would take Burrow over Mahomes any day of the week. I've been saying that for years. So Burrow's 10th quarterback on this list. I'm really scared of what we're about to count just now. So we're fully expecting Patrick Mahomes to be on there. We got Josh Allen, Justin Herbert,
Drake May, Matthew Stafford.
Drake May, Matthew Stafford,
Super Bowl
Jared Goff,
champion.
Sam Darnold.
Dak.
Dak.
Potentially. Jalen, potentially. We're talking about Joe Burrow not being a top 10 quarterback in the league, at least a chance of it.
No.
And the fact that that's a debate is absurd.
No.
There is no world where Joe Burrow should be outside of your top. I'll give you 6, maybe. You can have 6, maybe, but certainly should be in the top 5, and in my opinion, in the top 4. I think 4 quarterbacks have drastically separated themselves from everyone else in the league right now. I don't understand this sentiment that he's going to potentially be on the outside of the top 10. That is crazy, and not something I thought I was going to have to deal with this offseason.
Absolutely not a debate I was thinking we were going to have to make at the desk, and hopefully James will be back here with us next week to help us work through this, because there's no world where Joe Burrow is not a top 10 quarterback, not a top 5 quarterback. Let's be real here.
There's no world Joe Burrow isn't a top 10 player. Let's just be clear about this. He should be a top 10 player like he was last year and like he was 3 years ago. I don't know why he's not, much less not a top 10 quarterback.
In a weird roundabout way, is the NFL Top 100 list about to make our worst word of the week?
It just did, and we didn't even plan on it.
No.
Unbelievable to look at those names and see who could still be coming in ahead of Joe Burrow on this list. The opinion on the Bengals, where you hear so many people talk about potentially being a Super Bowl contender, doing enough to the defense to flip things, and then the complete 180 of another group saying, well, Joe Burrow's just going to get hurt again. This team's not good enough to compete. I don't think I've ever seen such a distinct split among a team team without drastic talent discrepancies. I think over the last 3 years, we've seen a similar split of people here in Cincinnati being really optimistic about the Bengals, about Joe Burrow, about this offense, where people in the national media and outside of this city weren't necessarily as high on this team, and that was because we all knew that Joe Burrow could do it no matter what. If he's given the chance, he can always win those games. Joe Danneman just said the exact same thing when he joined us last segment. Now, we're talking about this year. There's actually a competitive roster on this team, and that's why I think the national media is not quite coming to grips with it yet, because they don't want the Bengals to be contenders. All the conversations as soon as they lost in 2021 was, well, Joe Burrow, first appearance in the Super Bowl, lost, he'll never get back. No one ever gets back. And since then, it's been trying to drive him outside of Cincinnati, and it's more rankings and conversations like this that can continue to, try to wedge put something in between the Bengals organization and Joe Burrow. Not the case. He has success, and he's going to have it this year, and he's going to continue to prove everyone wrong.